That looked like a 3 plus. I might have to come and catch that guy.
They're literally caked in on the hole you won your first BFL on.
Brings back memories. I can't believe how many fish are sitting on that spot, or were sitting on that spot. I hope they're still there.
Boat 214. Welcome to Bassmaster, Justin. At boat number 214 out of 225, I am not going to get in there first.
Man, at boat 214, or Justin trying to make it to that pond, I think he might need to make a different decision. I think there's going to be a big window for catching a bag early in the morning, and then you're just going to have to kind of grind it out the rest of the day. For such a simple tournament, I got way too many rods I'm rigging.
I actually don't have as many as I normally do. You know, I told myself not to go to that pond if I had a late boat number, but I just couldn't shake it. There's so many big ones teeing off on my swim jig in there. I had to go. Oh, ready for that first bite. It's 2 empty beds now. He either came in here and caught them, or they're already done spawned, or they're just not pulling up first thing in the morning. It's probably they're just not pulling up onto that bed yet.
Bass fishing has so many variables. I think it's the hardest sport to predict in the world. You have a living being that is swimming around and has their own instincts, has their own desires. When we're waking up, they're eating as well, and that's kind of their routine, but there's always those little windows that change. You have different colors, different styles. You can reel the same bait as the guy beside you, just a little slower, a little faster. So the sport of fishing overall is the hardest that I've ever seen.
And I blast off, and I'm running out of Cowicky Creek trying to run down the lake. Got a starting hole where I've got history as well, where I did win a BFL, and I know those fish are there, and I am so anxious to get there and get them fired up. I was expecting to be able to catch, 5, 6, 7 pounders off this place. They were there, they were set up, and I wish, looking back, I wish I had made an adjustment on the first place that, would have helped me catch those fish. But, it did help me later in the day as these fish weren't acting right. They were doing that on multiple locations, and it allowed me to be able to make an adjustment that would save my tournament.
Berkeley General out. I feel like I'm seeing some fish, but they're not chasing that swim jig. We're gonna see if we can't get them to eat this Senko.
I mean, it was easy fishing. You threw a swim jig, reeled it in, and a 5 or 6 or 7 pounder would come eat it. And I didn't even make a full pass in there, and I shook off 4 giants, so I had to go.
They're spawning back in. Here comes another boat coming in here. They're in here. I've been seeing them. I haven't got one rise on my swim jig yet. But I know they're in here. I would have already gotten a swim jig bite, and I've seen over 10 bass kind of show themselves, and then just feel like they're spawning or doing. I mean, usually you spawn, or sometimes you can get them on the swim jig, but right now they're not eating it, so I'm gonna keep it honest. But I didn't want to be here forever if they weren't teeing off, because there's fish biting off the bank too. But this is what we chose. Oh jeez, what is that? It's not even a bass, it's a pickerel. Freaking pike. It's supposed to be a 4 or 5 pounder, come on. Right over here I shook one off. It was my biggest bite of the week. It was a 6 to 8 pounder easy, just a behemoth. She's over here somewhere. There's fish in here, dadgummit.
I'm trying to make the right adjustment here, and it is just not happening.
You're lucky boat number 5 today.
You are?
No, you are in here.
Oh, I'm sure that bed fish that got picked off.
I don't think it has. I hadn't seen it happen.
The one in the back corner?
I didn't get it.
He's going to probably one of the ones that he can see. I'm not much of a sight fisherman. I didn't plan to do it this morning, but I saw one moving around right where he
is going.
I wasn't the only person who found these fish. I wasn't the only person who had this idea to go there early on day one. I didn't see them catch any. I didn't see one bass get caught in there. It was a gamble coming in here. I wasted a little more than an hour. Now we got to go find some biters.
225 boats, you could have a perfect game plan, but like Mike Tyson says, once you get punched in the mouth, either by a bad boat draw, maybe you wanted an early boat draw to go to a big fish on the bed, and you get boat 200 out of 225. Your A, B, C, D, E plans are all gonna have to come into play. So.
Any fish you put in the box does settle you down a little bit because, you know, the first fish and the fifth fish are the hardest to come by. And I was able to get a couple fish in the box and at least settle me down some, but they weren't the right fish. They weren't the caliber of fish I was looking for.
I ran past all the stuff to go down to those fish. So I didn't want to run all the way back another half hour to where I felt like I could put a limit together. There were some brush piles that I couldn't get out of my head, but I didn't have any hard spots that far down the lake.
When I pulled up to my third spot, it's a spot that I caught a 6-pounder on in practice, and I know that there were more fish in that same area. There was a kind of a little bit of a school that was working there, but I wasn't expecting to see the amount of fish that were on it when I pulled up in the tournament. A school that had like 10 to 15 fish in it in practice all of a sudden turned into a school that had about 100 fish in it. I pulled up and I actually fished that school for 24 minutes before I ever caught a fish, and it took me making an adjustment to be able to catch them. You know, I stood back up and fired a cast out and literally caught one on the first cast, and it was a good one. Caught one on the second cast, and then I caught one on the third cast, and it was nonstop. I mean, literally 25 casts in a row, and I've never done that. And I don't think any time in my fishing career have I ever lit up a school. I've heard about it before, but I've never experienced it before in my life. And to experience it on the first day of the first Bassmaster Open of 2023 was an incredible experience, and it just really calmed me down. The fish were shallower in practice. That's a coal right there. And they were in 6, 7, 8 foot of water in practice, and they slid off to 12, 14, 15 foot of water during the tournament. And all it took was making one switch to a deeper diving crankbait. I was throwing a Rapala DT16. How about that coal right there? You know, these are 3.5 pound fish, 4 pound fish. I was throwing 3.5 pounders back at the end of this. So that one spot, I'll never forget it. I'll never forget the action that happened there. And it was on a deep diving crankbait. I don't think I've ever caught as many fish in my career on a deep diving crankbait as I did in that one moment. That crankbait right there. That's what I'm talking about. Another one. I lost track of how many times I culled. It was nonstop. I was wanting to get my lure back in the water so fast. I was trying to make sure I didn't make any issues with culling or having too many fish in the boat. And Dang it, I made a cast without catching a fish.
First Bassmaster Open fish ever. Maybe. Might not make it.
I started to lose a lot of confidence.
Look at him.
So it's time to regroup, go to the bank, and just practice.
That feels like a big one. Oh yeah, stay down. Barely hooked. To see more fish coming is like, I really didn't know what to do. Like I wanted to leave, but when you're still catching them, you can't leave. You can't leave fish that are biting.
Yes. Yes.
You can lead a blind man to